Hello, I'm Dr. Bruce Teague of the Center for Entrepreneurship at Eastern Washington University. Welcome to Startup Stories, where we explore entrepreneurial journeys with Spokane area entrepreneurs. On this episode, we will explore the importance of creatively enhancing the value proposition in your business. I'm joined by Ramsey Pruchnic, co-founder of Hello Sugar, located in Kendall Yard on Nettleton Street, and with locations now in Spokane Valley and out in Liberty Lake. Welcome to the show, Ramsey.
Thanks for having me.
Ramsey, you are a successful serial entrepreneur, so I could easily see you being back on here in a different angle, but today we're focusing on Hello Sugar. So to begin with this business, how did you decide on mini donuts?
Yeah, so prior to starting Hello Sugar, I was running another company. I hadn't owned an ad agency. I'm still running that ad agency. So I had the benefit of getting to look at a lot of different business models. So being an ad agency, you get to go into a company and you get to understand their marketing strategies, their marketing goals, and their KPIs, and really even dig into the financials of how much can you spend in advertising based on profitability models. And so that's where I started, was with financial models. I said, it's great to own a business, but if you don't understand the numbers behind the business, and if you don't understand how the business can make money, you're gonna be very limited in your ability to grow, your ability to obviously be profitable. And so, our passion was for creating jobs and for creating an experience in Spokane. When we moved back from Seattle, we didn't want to just create a digital company, but we wanted to create a company that could really drive community impact. And we thought having a brick and mortar space would be the best way to do it. So it started with kind of a vision of what we wanted to do in Spokane, which was create businesses and to create a brick and mortar. From there, it wasn't right to donuts. It was, okay, if we're going to do that, we want it to be, one, sustainable, and two, we want it to have the potential to grow, because the bigger it grows, the more impact we can have. So that's where we started really looking at and understanding the financial models. So really, I built a spreadsheet, as simple as that. And I built a spreadsheet that looked at, my key areas were, what are my COGS? What is it going to take from a labor standpoint to execute? What's it going to take from a fixed cost standpoint? So, utilities and rent and equipment, even from a startup cost standpoint. And then what does that leave left over? What's the profitability? And so, restaurants are an easy place to start because there's a lot of different flavors, if you will, in terms of how you can approach that. And so we started looking at restaurants. We looked at things for kids. We looked at a lot of different businesses, and we landed on mini donuts because it had the COGS model we wanted. From a engaging with the customer standpoint, it created a product that allowed us to kind of have a wide appeal. It's a product that was proven, so that was a big piece of kind of the outside of the quantitative. From a qualitative standpoint, we didn't want something that was a fad. And so donuts have been around for 100 years, and so it wasn't something that was going to disappear in the next 5 years. It was something that we could put a little twist on. And then there was we looked at market saturation, and coffee shops had high market saturation, but Donut Parade at the time had just gone out of business within the last year. There was no major donut shop within the downtown core or close to the downtown core. And as we started to look at other major cities or other cities of similar size, they all had donut shops or multiple donut shops within their downtown core. So we looked at that as there was a huge void in the market. And from a financial standpoint, it had the right labor costs, the right COGS model. And so it kind of created the right opportunity from a profitability standpoint that it made sense. A lot of other business models were put through kind of the similar ringer, if you will, and they just didn't come out looking as nice. They might have looked profitable, but the path to profitability required a lot more things happening correctly. Where with donuts, we had enough of a wiggle room that even if not everything hit exactly as we wanted, it could still be viable.
But you didn't just go into donuts; you went into mini donuts.
Mini donuts, made to order too. So not even just mini donuts, because you can buy mini donuts at a gas station packaged up that say Hostess on them. We did mini donuts made in front of the customer, made to order. Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually one of the fun things about being in your stores, is watching the whole process happen. My daughters love that they can go look through the glass, and your employees are always really nice about talking to them as well.
Awesome.
But you can see the whole thing.
Yeah, and that's part of it is, again, donuts being an established industry, being around for almost 100 years, it's been done. So we didn't want to just do it the same way as everyone else. We wanted to do it with with a little bit of a twist on it. And so honestly, we kind of put an Instagram lens on it. We said, hey, you know what? We've seen businesses, we know businesses can grow through word of mouth, and word of mouth today is done via social media. And so we said, like, how would this experience look on social media? How would this become Instagrammable, if you will? And so we said, well, take something and make it small and cute, put glitter on it, right? Allow people the opportunity to kind of do the Disneyland thing, or the, watching the candy get made where they're hanging over the glass, seeing the donuts happen, kind of that interactive kitchen experience, always having a hot donut. I mean, when the light's on at Krispy Kreme's and they got hot donuts, that's when they got the line. So what if we had hot donuts from open to close? And then having a box that when someone opened it, you kind of, had more of like an unboxing experience like at Apple, where it's fun to open the box and people are taking pictures and recording the unboxing experience. How could we do the same with donuts? And so that's what we did. It was not only about having great flavors and a great product. I mean, we did so much due diligence on finding the right ingredients, but it was always about the presentation from how you open the box to the process of it being made. We throw away a lot of donuts. Like, we have a bar for what a donut needs to be in order to go into our boxes. And we tell the team all the time, like, if it's not a beautiful donut, like, it goes in the garbage. Because for us, that's part of the experience, is the visual as well as what it tastes like.
So one of the things I really wanted to talk to you about was enhancing that customer experience with the business, because a mini donut is really a basic concept to start with. Mm-hmm. But then it's all of the things building on. So, for instance, you talked about the glitter on the frosting. But one of the products, and I know you allow custom flavors, but one of your main products is that Carousel, where you've got 12 different donuts roughly in there. How did you come up with that concept, and what was the thinking behind creating that visual experience when people opened up?
So one of the thinkings was if you make things too complicated, it's challenging on the employees, but also it can be challenging on the customer, right? Because sometimes there's just too many choices. And so we wanted it to be simple enough for a child to be able to come up and order their favorite thing and to know what their favorite thing is. I mean, my daughter knows her favorite donuts, and she knows the donuts that she wants in the box or when the new flavors are coming. So the Carousel it's 12, so 12's a dozen. Dozen is how donuts are ordered. And so we built 10 core flavors, and we said these are our 10 core flavors that we're going to have, and then we left room for 2 additional flavors. So one's our seasonal, so every month we come up with a new seasonal flavor, and then every week we come up with a new limited edition. And the logic there being, we can still offer a wide variety of flavors, but we don't need 92 flavors or 100 flavors in the case, right? We have our 10 core ones, and then we have a rotating menu of new flavors that come in and out. And I mean, for a customer that doesn't know what to try, the Carousel became kind of the sales pitch in our first weeks of, you've never been in before, they want to try everything. Well, great, then get a Carousel, because now you get to try everything. And then it just became the go-to of, if I'm going to go take some donuts to somebody, I don't have to guess what flavors to get them. I just get them the Carousel. They get it all. They're not missing anything. Like, we play into FOMO. Like, the fear of missing out is a real thing. And the fact that you can get the Carousel and you get every flavor, and then you need to come back on a regular basis because we're always adding new flavors with our seasonals and limited, that created that scarcity mentality and that FOMO mindset of how we try to create repeat behavior and repeat business.
So I know now, you've got your 3 locations, you're really well established, you've got a real following in the market. But my memory was back when you first opened the first store over on Nelson, and I remember sitting in your store, and people would open up, and because you had 12 different flavors in there, not only were they looking at it and oftentimes taking pictures of it, but there was so much conversation just about what each donut was tasting like. Yeah. And people were putting down their phones and they were actually talking to each other about it. And it was really cool to see. Was that planned by design?
Yeah, I mean, we designed the space. We designed Hello Sugar to be interactive, and we tell our team when we're training our team, we say, like, the Hello Sugar experience begins when someone enters the door. Like, the donut is a vehicle and the product that they're walking away with, but the actual product is the minute they enter the door, the interaction with the gals at the front register, the watching the donuts get made, the watching the donuts get hand dipped and covered in glitter. us yelling your name out. Like, that's all part of the experience. And so the idea was that it would be, that it was very conversational the whole way through, that you came into Hello Sugar. We always tell people, like, success looks like people leaving with a smile. Like, and that's one of the joys of owning a donut shop, is not a lot of people leave a donut shop like without a smile on their face. And we constantly say, like, we can be people's highlights in their day. We can make their day a little bit better with something as simple as a box of donuts. And if you look at our spaces, and COVID's obviously actually been really challenging in the sense in that we don't like the idea of having our product be like you just pick it up off of a table or get delivered, because the entire space is designed for you to watch your donut get made, get your donut hot, and then the way we have our seating and stuff set up to then sit down and eat that donut with other people. And so it's a very community experience that we designed. And so that's been really challenging, to be honest, with COVID, because we didn't build the business to be impersonal, if you will, and just be order online and have it delivered to you. I mean, we've had to adapt, obviously, but we've actually made decisions to not roll out and do different events and different things because we can't deliver those experiences in the COVID environment, because it's so important to us that customer experience is consistent and is, engaging.
So, so much of what you're talking about in terms of what we would call a value proposition in entrepreneurship, but that experience that the customer is purchasing. The donut really is just a means to an end, but the experience is built around it. How much of that experience had you kind of conceived and kind of really put in place at startup? Mm-hmm. And in what ways has that experience evolved with experience with the business?
We knew how we wanted people to feel at inception when we started the business. Some of the pieces were in place. The carousel existed. We put edible glitter on it. The custom boxes were in development. We knew we wanted to have a very kind of Apple box feel, minimalist feel. And so I think the key part was, like, we knew we wanted people to leave feeling that it was worth the money they paid, to be honest. Like, you can get cheaper donuts. Like, that's fine. I'll admit it. Like, if you're eating donuts for a meal, like, go to Safeway, go to Albertsons. Like, you're going to get a better bang for your buck in terms of quantity of donut. But if you want to have an awesome afternoon with your kids or first date or whatever, like, Hello Sugar is great, because, again, it's going to create an experience. And I believe we have phenomenal donuts. We have invested so much into what we're doing. But again, when I'm talking to our team about how do we make people feel when they come in, I always say, like, if we don't greet them with a smile, and if they don't feel in the space like it's welcoming, the donuts could be phenomenal. They'll never come back, because it's all part of the experience. So we knew going into it that, the whole idea of creating a brick and mortar business, like, we wanted to be in the people business, right? My background through college, before I got into the marketing industry, was I was a poker dealer working for tips. And let's just be honest, like, how do I make more in tips? I engage in conversation, I smile, I'm friendly. I sold women's shoes at Nordstrom's. Again, how do I make more money? I'm personable, I smile, I get to know people. So you take these customer service aspects and you say, like, those are the things that made me successful when I engaged with individuals and a working environment in these other roles. How do we build an entire company around that, around food? And I think a lot of it, gets lost in the fast casual environment. It's different. You go to a nice restaurant and you have a great conversation with your waiter, and they're experts and they make you feel welcomed. But how can we create that in a restaurant that's geared towards people coming in with kids? I've literally seen it in our store, 7 strollers back to back to back. How do you create that environment in an environment that has as many babies as it does adults? And that's what we were kind of setting out to do. And I think we knew that if we nailed that, that if parents knew that there was a place that they could take their kids where they could both have a great experience, that would be a place that would be able to be sustainable.
Well, and one of the things I love about the way that you package and present your product is when you open up the box, it really is as exciting for the 2-year-old as it is for the adult. No matter who you are, it's just so tangible.
Well, and it's so personalized too. So our boxes, I wrote hello startup stories, right? But you get the opportunity to write whatever you want on the box, and people put as much thought into what they're going to put on here as anything. I mean, we have gotten some very clever names, but it's also been like, I mean, people have gotten engaged on the box. Birthdays are a norm, anniversaries. I mean, they use the top of this box, just as much as getting excited about the inside. Like, yes, the inside is an amazing experience, but even what goes on top of the box, like, it's so important that it's spelt right and that it's the right things, because people put so much weight into that as well, because they want to be able to hand the box to somebody. You're talking about those personal connections, like take the box as a gift or take it to work, and they take it to work and every employee's got their name on a box of donuts waiting for them. Like, those are, again, we're creating memories, right? Those are memorable experiences. So, I mean, it was a lot of design work and a lot of thought, just saying, like, not only what does the inside of the box look like, but what's the top of the box look like? How do we personalize it to create excitement about what goes on the top? And then when you open the box, we recognize, so you've got this box full of donuts covered in edible glitter, very Instagrammable. And then I put my logo on the top of this, because if they're going to take a picture on Instagram, this is going to be the view.
Right.
And then I'm going to have my logo, by default, is going to be in every picture. So I'm going to make sure that I'm capturing my brand with the product, regardless of who photographs it, just as a way to make sure that we are getting that brand recognition, and I'm getting that exposure through user-generated content. I mean, the most valuable content out there is the content others put out there about us, not the stuff we say about ourselves.
Well, and that's great, because it bridges right into the last thing I really wanted to talk to you about, it in terms of enhancing the user experience, because not only have you created an experience within the store, but then on special occasions, you've also enhanced that experience by really creating events around the donuts.
Yeah.
And so can you talk a little bit about a favorite event that you ran?
Yeah, I mean, so I'll start with kind of the logic behind events is we believe in the importance of scarcity. Like, we believe if a flavor is always available, then why would we be able to drive demand for you to come get it? Well, the same with events. We believe that if we can create a moment in time or an event that we can get people to want to come, we can drive demand into our store. And so one of the ones we do is an event around Harry Potter. It started with, it was the release of the Fantastic Beasts movies, and so we kind of coupled with that and did this Harry Potter weekend, and we designed a full menu. We turned around the entire store to feel like, Harry Potter world. We do trivia night the night before to introduce the flavors to super fans who have to apply to show up the night before via Instagram, and everybody shows up in their robes, by house, competing in Harry Potter trivia, getting to experience the full Harry Potter menu. So yeah, when we do an event, we go all in. I mean, we do a ton of research. We want to make sure that, again, it's exciting enough that people know that when we create events, it's something they want to go to. And it better be exciting, because if they're going to wait 2 hours for donuts, it better be worth it, right? And so we recognize the importance of delivering on those events, but from a business standpoint, from an entrepreneurial standpoint, like, there are times in the year in which we are slow, and we are not going to just sit around and wait for that next holiday or that next big, hoop fest or whatever. So we looked at these slow periods. When we first did it, it was November, couple weeks before Thanksgiving, very slow time of year. So how do we generate excitement ourselves? How do we build our own moments in time? So Harry Potter is our big one that we do every year. And we started to do other ones. We do Dr. Seuss. We did Lion King. We did Tiger King week during early pandemic days when Tiger King was the thing to watch. So we react to opportunities in the marketplace in terms of what's popular. But then we also make sure that experience is not just us decorating a donut a different color and calling it Harry Potter donut. I mean, it's 12 new flavors. We make chocolate frogs for days and decorate the entire store to the point that, people get upset if they miss it, which is, I think, a compliment to what our team pulls off.
Well, Ramsey, thank you for being here to share your startup story. Hello Sugar is so much fun. If you want to see Hello Sugar in person or return to it, if you're like me and go too often, You can visit them over in Kendall Yards out in Spokane Valley. You're off of Dishman Micah, right?
Correct.
And then out in Liberty Lake now. So fantastic. Love the story. Yeah, I can't wait to talk to you again. And we will be back with future startup stories and talk about other entrepreneurs in the Spokane area.